episode 5 of my new live stream series, Inspirational Invitational. This is where I invite inspirational runners on YouTube channels and what they're doing at the moment. And this week I've got a guest I've been really looking forward to having on. His name's Colin, but you may know him by a different name, and that is the Big Pink Dress. So welcome to the channel.
Hiya, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Really appreciate you coming on to talk about your running and your story. So I thought before we start, I'll just say to anybody tuning in, if you've got any questions, please do put them into the comments, the live comments on this YouTube video, and I'll ask them out, and then Colin can respond to your questions as we go. So please drop your questions in now, because sometimes they take a minute to filter through. Okay, Colin, so yeah, go for it, mate. Tell us about like how you got into running.
To be honest, I've always been a runner. I found out I had a bit of a talent when I was younger. I was never any good at football, never any good at rugby when I was a kid. So I joined the Jarrow Harriers when I was a kid. And it turns out I was running at the same time with Steve Cram and the likes of David Sharp, and Headley was there training, all that sort of thing. And I started finding out I was a very good runner. I think I broke my first 4-minute mile when I was 19 years old. Wow. My fastest half marathon was 1 hour 17, things like that. I mean, I was never sort of like just on the Olympic stage, you know what I mean? I was always sort of like, I was good, but I was never sort of like that standard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I joined the RAF, and I became the RAF 400 meter champion. It turns out I was a better sprinter than I was a distance runner. But no, it was excellent. I love it. I was a cross in the RAF. Are you still there? I think I've lost you.
No, I can still hear you.
Oh,
yeah,
back.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, it was just like I said. I used to love the run. I used to love it, but after a few years in the RAF, you discover things like alcohol, good food, and you kind of lose track of your running ability, and you think, right, give it up for a while.
No, fair enough. And wow, in the RAF, that must have been quite something, quite a career.
Yeah, I loved it. I was in for 6 years. I did a tour in the Falklands. It was just an incredible time. And the one thing I'll take from the RAF is the friends that you get in the RAF are second to none. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're needed, they'll be there. And, you know, I've still got friends now who still run, actually. It's great because one of my friends from the RAF, Martin Ford, who I've only seen like once in 25 years, just messaged me now. He's doing the London Marathon, so we're going to meet up down there. And it's just such a great community.
No, it is. It's fantastic. And I think, yeah, you just mentioned the London Marathon, so that kind of moves us on to because now you don't run so fast as you used to, but you became the Big Pink Dress. So how did that happen? Tell us about that.
It was in 2014. I hadn't run for at least 15 years, something like that. And one of my wife's friends was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was horrendous watching her go through it. I mean, I'm not a doctor, not a scientist, I'm a chef. So I said, listen, I'll try and raise some money. I'll come out of retirement of running, and I'll do the Great North Run. Now, at that time, I worked in a nursing home as the cook. And we'd just done a Christmas show for the residents, and it was Stars in Your Eyes. So we had to pick out names of who we were going to be. And I got Diana Ross and the Supremes. So fantastic. So when I got the pack from Breast Cancer Campaign, it was wear it pink, and the only pink thing I had was this big pink dress that I had from the show. So I said, right, I'll do the Great North Run in this dress. Try to raise £350, and we raised thousands upon thousands of pounds that year. It was crazy.
Yeah, so, and I remember when you sort of first came on the scene in about that time, because I was very similar to yourself. You know, my mother had breast cancer, and that's what got me running. And I ran the Great North Run, so there's a lot of synergy in how we both got running.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done the Great North Run probably 5 times now, but I remember the first time I saw you, and I thought, wow, that is a costume, you know. It took a few more years for us to meet after that, but yeah, it was fantastic when you arrived, and you got loads of coverage on the BBC and stuff, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, do you know what? It hasn't stopped though. This is the thing I don't get. I know there's lots of guys out there and women who run in costume, do all this thing, but it still the big pink dress still seems to get as bigger and bigger every year, and it's amazing the support I get. Absolutely, do you know what? I can't thank people enough for it, because every time I go out, I keep thinking, oh, this might be the last time I go out. You know, you never know. People might be getting fed up with it and all that stuff, and the polar opposite happens. Absolutely inundated with selfies, and it's just,
yeah. Oh, I think I've lost him there. Oh no, right. I'll try and get him back on. But yeah, what he was just saying there about selfies. So I remember it was last year, 2017, at the Great North Run, and I saw him, so I went up and asked for a selfie. And I said to him, "Oh, can I have a selfie?" And he says, "Yeah, of course. I'm not exactly shy, am I?" I was just in hysterics. It's such a character. Right, let me just try and get him back on. Sorry about this, guys. It's just something that happens with these live streams, and if people's signal drops out. This is the nature of live. Unfortunately, sometimes you get glitches. Here he is. Right, let's invite him back. Oh, it's a shame. He's got such a great story. I hope I can get him back on. But for those of you that are tuning in just a bit later into the live stream, as I said at the start, if you've got any questions for Colin, please do type them into the comments as quickly as you can, because we've only got half an hour of his time tonight. And it's just amazing how quickly these interviews go. And if you want to ask him anything, please let me know straight away. I've just sent him the reconnect, so I'm hoping this will work. Well, hey, Miranda. So Miranda's on. Miranda, who I interviewed last week, is when Colin was talking about his previous times in the RAF. And she's put, what epic times. I totally agree. I mean, he's done 1 hour 17 for the half marathon. That is phenomenal. And then also Joe Milton. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the live stream. I'm hoping I can get Colin back. Have you got any questions, Miranda and Joe? Any questions for Colin at all? Let's see if I can bring someone in. Hang on. I'm going to keep this live stream rolling, because if I end this live, you know, we lose the stream and I have to set it all back up. Oh, that's a great question, Miranda. I'll ask him that when he comes back on. No problems. Oh, right. So who else is running the London Marathon this weekend? Is there any of you guys viewing, watching, running the London Marathon? Try one more time. I'm wondering if he's lost his battery on his phone, because it's not coming up that he's seen these messages that I'm sending him. Oh no, this will be such a shame. I'll have to reschedule it if this doesn't pan out, because he's got a great story and I want to bring it to you, the audience. Well, I suppose I could spend a couple of minutes just talking about the London Marathon Expo, because this week, obviously, people are going to be going into London to collect their bib numbers for the London Marathon Expo. You just have to get down there on, I think it's open tomorrow, actually, at 10 o'clock, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday or Saturday. Get down to the XL at London to pick up your number. Really use that as an opportunity to, network with other runners and speak to people and look at all the brands that are there, and just you get all kinds of good show deals. So if you're going down, spend a little bit of time there, but don't spend all day, because you obviously want to reserve your legs a bit for the weekend. I'm going to be down there on Thursday, so if any of you are going down on Thursday and you see me, please do come up and say hello and we'll have a chat. Right, Miranda, I'm going to bring you in. If you get the invite and it works, I'll try and bring you into the chat, and then you can ask your question. Oh, I've got a big I've got a red heart emoji from him. What is this? Here he is. Here he is.
Hey!
He's back.
I was sitting there going, what's going on?
I don't know. I've just been filling in, talking rubbish about the London Marathon Expo, trying to give out a couple of tips about what people can expect down there this week, whilst I've been waiting. But yeah, whilst you've been gone, I've been getting some questions. So Miranda's asked a question.
Excellent.
She said, do you have any chafing from the dress? She knows it can be problematic with costumes sometimes. So
my first ever run in 2014, the Great North Run, it had ripped to.
Oh no, he's frozen up again. Here he is. He's still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you froze up for a second there. Just say that again.
In 2014, the Great North Run was the worst I ever had chafing, because it was tight to the knee. All the chafing on the back of my legs tore all the skin off, so it wasn't pleasant.
Oh, I bet it wasn't. So what have you done differently now then with the dress to try and stop the chafing? How do you tackle that?
What happened was, because the dress was tight to the knee, I had to basically design it so it had like hula hoops all the way around now, so I can stride out. So I don't get chafing on the legs at all, but I do get it on the tops of my hips, because that's where everything's sort of pounding down on my legs all the time.
That's like on the waistline where it all sits.
Yeah, there's times I've had no skin left on them. My first London Marathon, I think I lost 9 toenails.
Ouch. You're an absolute glutton for punishment, aren't you, doing this?
Well, actually, the first London Marathon, 7 miles into the run, I tripped over the dress and broke 2 toes on my right foot.
Ouch. And sorry, go on.
So I had to basically do 19 miles with broken toes.
Oh, mate, it's bad, isn't it? When it goes wrong in a marathon and you've got an injury or something, and you've got a long way left to go, that's tough. Actually, how do you overcome that? Like, what makes you keep going?
Do you know something? Honestly, right? I know I've said it. I've done interviews with this before. There's a guy called Big John Green. I don't even know him. We've run together since then. He stopped. He's like 6'8". He was wearing a kilt at the time, and he's from Wolverhampton. And he said to me, he said, "Come on, lad, get yourself up, strong like bull, get to the end." And do you know what? We stuck together the rest of the way, and I owe him that medal that year. He got me to the end that year.
Yeah, and are you having a bit of a reunion this year, I hear?
Yes, this will be our first time we've been back to the London Marathon together, because he missed the next year and I went. Then I had an ankle operation and he went. So we haven't seen each other in the London Marathon since. So we're going to go around together this year.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. And then I've got a comment from Lady of Bucks who says, "Hey, this is awesome. You're a legend to me, as my family are from the Northeast. Where do you get your inspiration for your new costumes? Because you change them all the time, don't you?"
Do you know what it is? I have a condition called ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and I've got dyslexia and all sorts, right? But I'm incredibly creative. I make everything. I make all the outfits, all the sort of like the wigs, everything. And it kind of, you just sit there one day and you be just, that's what I'm doing for the London Marathon. That's what I'm doing for the Great North 10K. And I literally knock up around about, well, actually, I've just done 3 dresses in the last 3 weeks for different events.
Really? So you've got 3 on the go right now?
I've just finished 2 of them, and I've got 1 left to finish off.
That's mental. And how long does it take you to make one of your dresses? Because there's a photo of them behind you, isn't there? There's a photo just over your shoulder there.
Yeah, that one there's the London Marathon one off the first London Marathon. This one here, hang on, I don't even see it. That's a one I did for Pride. I got asked to go to Pride because it's really strange because I'm literally the straightest guy there. I have no problem with anybody being whoever they are, but I was actually used as the face of Pride in Northern Pride. I was on the Look North, the local TV show, as the face of Pride, and I was thinking, you had like 20,000 people to pick here, so you picked the straightest guy in the world. But it was just so funny. And do you know what? I loved every second of it. Absolutely brilliant.
Now, well, let's be honest. You do stand out, don't you? So yeah, you're a good face to have for anything, I think.
Well, like I said, I'm 6'6", and with the outfit on, I'm about 7.5 foot tall with the wigs.
That's crazy. I said when you were offline there, I remember you were just talking about selfies before it cut out, and I said when I met you, obviously came and asked you for a selfie. So I sheepishly came over and said, "Oh, is it all right?" And you said, "Well, of course it is. I'm not exactly shy, am I?"
That's true. That's what you see. People say, "Can I have a photo?" I'm thinking, well, I'm the most blatantly sorry. I'm not here to be shy and hide in the corner. Yeah, take a photo, help yourself. I mean, do you know what it is? I have had a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I wish I had a photo because I was too shy to ask you and things." And I'm thinking, anybody who wants it, just come and get one. I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't want people thinking, "Oh, I don't want to talk to them." No. That's the last thing I want. I want as many selfies as humanly possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you going to go down to London to collect your bib number this week at some point? What day are you going to be there?
I'm there on Saturday. I'm going around about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm hoping to go in the outfit, but apparently there's a DLR strike on.
When's that? Oh, I think the DLR strike's just on Marathon Day, I think, not on the Saturday.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, if anyone knows different, comment in the comments about the DLR strikes for us.
Yeah, because I mean, I want to go on to the expo like that because, a lot of people don't get to see me on race day. Do you know what I mean? And it's good fun. It adds to the day, getting selfies with people and all that stuff. It gets the word out about what I'm doing. And it also, it helps everything for my charity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because who are you supporting this time round?
9 times out of 10, I'll be doing it for breast cancer now. Like I said, luckily my wife's friend's absolutely fine, in remission, totally fine. But since I've been doing this, I've lost, I would say, 3 or 4 people already to breast cancer. So, there's still a lot more to do. Like I said, by 2050, they're hoping that nobody will be dying of breast cancer. And I want to do my bit to help reach that target. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And, what you said earlier, you said, I'm not a doctor. that's exactly how I felt. Like my mum survived breast cancer, and it was only because of the medical research that exists that she survived. And you know, I can't do anything about that, but I could raise the money to help someone else who does know what they're doing to sort it out, really. And that's, you know, I'm in the same boat as you. And you know, I 2012, I dressed up as a sheep and I ran for breakthrough breast cancer, which is the former name of breast cancer now. And I ended up being interviewed with Colin Jackson on the BBC, you know, at the end of it. And it was great, you know, anything to kind of raise the awareness of such a serious illness for people. It's well worth doing, isn't it? Which is obviously why you keep going as the big pink dress. So, you know, fantastic work, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you do what you need to do to get the word out there and raise as much as humanly possible. And I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky because people have took the big pink dress to their hearts. Do you know what I mean? And it's really picked up. And it, like I said, it gets bigger and bigger every year.
And do you know which start you're going off? Are you going off blue or red or green?
I'm in red. I'm in red this year.
Yeah, you in the masses?
Yeah, I am. I can't wait. I love it.
Yes, that's the same start as me. So I'm hoping then we'll bump into each other, mate. I'll probably see you before you see me, though.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that. I'll carry a paper just in case you don't recognise us.
Yeah, I'm the one holding the newspaper. Oh, and the massive wig. Yeah. No, that'll be fab. I won't see you on Saturday because I'm actually going down on the Thursday myself. I've got to go that day. I've got another commitment in London. But you know, I'll see you on Sunday hopefully, if nowhere else.
Yeah, I'll definitely see you at the start line. Definitely.
Okay, and what I've done on this video, in the links below, I've put the links to all your social media, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, and your website. That's all there, and also your Virgin Money giving page is there. So if anybody has felt inspired by what Colin does, and you want to donate to Breast Cancer Now, as they're known, the link will be below, and donate through Colin's page and help him raise as much as possible as the big pink dress.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, mate.
No problem. Right, so how long we've been going? We go about 20 minutes. Have you got a little bit more time?
Yeah, I've got all night, mate.
Okay. I'm just going to check if there's been any more questions. So Lady of Bucks has chipped in and said the strike action is going to affect the DLR from 4 a.m. on Friday, actually, until 4 a.m. on Tuesday. So it's going to be going on over the weekend. So yeah, because it's is it Regent's Park or something, Regent's House we have to go to, or Custom House, is it? I can't remember now. Oh, I've lost him again. No, he's gone. Quick, let's get him back as quick as possible. Yeah, anyway, as on that, I was just saying, obviously we've got to get down the DLR, and that is going to affect the DLR is what services the expo. So if you were thinking of going at the weekend, then you can perhaps get there slightly earlier. That might be well worth doing. Oh, no. Sorry, just give me a second. I'll try and get him back. I'm just going to come back over to YouTube. Right, so, oh, it's going to be a limited service, Lady of Bucks is saying, limited service. So there will be a service, but you might have to wait a long time for your train. So just check that and plan ahead, I guess. Oh, I think he's back. Here we go. Yes, he's back again. Right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes until we hit the half hour. I'll try and keep these to half an hour. But if you've got any questions at all about fancy dress, fundraising, running marathons, anything at all about what we've discussed, please do chip in. I'd love to get, you know, you don't get an opportunity like this to speak to people as every day. Okay, cool. There's no extra questions at the moment. So, yeah, so what, you obviously are at the big pink dress, but there's obviously always these other people that dress up. There's a guy who dresses as a dragon every year, I think. A great big green tall dragon I've seen.
Yeah, that's Buff.
Buff. Do you guys have like a, you know, like a little chat group or something? Do all the charity fancy dressers get together?
Yeah, we all hang around. No, do you know what it is? We all know each other. This is the strange thing. You're right, actually. You know, Tony the Fridge, Puff the Dragon, Big John Green. You got Edwards. You got everybody. It's amazing how all these guys get to know each other.
I bet it is. I mean, if you lot went for a beer and I walked into that pub, I'd think, I've had enough. I'm going to leave. I can't drink anymore.
It's so, do you know what it is as well? These guys are some of the nicest people you will ever meet, but also some of the most insane people you will ever meet.
Oh, that's a good blend, though, isn't it? Insanity and niceness.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, I've had a couple of questions then. So Leslie Mills is asking, how are your legs now?
Lovely and shapely. No, actually, I know Leslie, lovely woman. My legs are absolutely fine. I had a bit of a scare about 2 weeks ago where my tendon on my left leg crimpled up, which I've never heard of before. But I rest. It's absolutely.
Okay, it's frozen again. Damn you, Wi-Fi. He's still there, though. He's still there. He's just frozen. What's that say? Eject. Can I eject him? I don't know. I'll eject him and try again. I've never ejected a person before. That's pretty extreme, isn't it? I hope he's not firing through his bedroom roof now. Right, let's try and get him back. I've got your question as well, Miranda. So if I'm getting back on, I'll ask him about that as well. Any more questions at all, guys? Get them in. I'll try and get him back again for a last couple. Okay, so he's just talking about having a crinkled tendon then. Is that something anyone's had before? I've not had that before, to be honest. It's not something I've heard of, so I don't know a great deal about it. Right, let's try and get back on, get him on Instagram. Trying again. Hello, mate. Trying again. Sorry about this, guys. I don't know whether it's. I think my stream's still going, so he must have some signal issues at his end. Right, invitation posted. Let's try and get him back on. So there's 9 people viewing at the moment. So who are you? Say hi. Drop us a little message in here so I know who you are, because it just gives me a number. And you lot are far more than just a number. So I've got Miranda, Joe. Oh, Gary. I don't know Gary. Gary, are you a friend of Colin's? And then we've got Lady of Bucks and Leslie as well. Miranda's saying tech issues are the worst. Yeah, we had a few of them last week on our interview. I don't know if we covered it in the interview, but Miranda couldn't get her front-facing camera on her laptop, so she literally just picked the laptop up, turned it round, and then she did the interview blind. She couldn't see the screen, which was pretty good. Right, I'm going to try once more. And if I can't get him back on, I think I might have to call it a day on that. It might be something to do with the fact that I've spelt his email wrong. Let's try that. Here he is. Right, hopefully that works. So yeah, as I was saying, I'll be at the expo on Thursday anyway. I'm going to be down there with a few other YouTube faces that you might know. I think Morning Coffee Run, who is on Instagram quite frequently, will be there. Clean Coach Katie's going to be there, I believe, on that day as well with her partner, Chef JD. And there's going to be quite a few other bloggers. I think possibly Paul Adicott will be there on that day because he will be at the Running Awards later on. Run with Rachel, she is likely to be there as well if her train gets her in on time. She's got a bit of a trek. Yes, he's coming back. He's just popped up. Yeah, we've got him.
Do you know what it is, right? I've just changed over from my mobile phone to my laptop. See if that would work, and it seems to work.
Brilliant. No, thanks for doing that. Okay. Right, yeah, so you were just talking about your tendon. And yeah, it was painful.
It was, to be honest, I had an ankle operation about exactly a year ago, actually. It was pretty much the same thing. It happened on my right leg, my right ankle, that was happening to my left leg. So I was a bit worried about it, but we caught it straight away and I iced it, did all the proper stuff, had the moon boot on, and it's top notch. I feel really good about London this year, like. Oh,
good. I mean, it's never good to go in injured, so I'm glad that it's feeling all right. Right, let's just check the questions. So Miranda Mac 83, that's Miranda. She said, you've mentioned you're a chef, and what are your favourite pre-race meals?
Do you know what it is, right? I'm the world's worst person to ask this question to, because I do not follow any of that stuff. I could have a kebab the night before and I'd still do the run the next day. But I've got to be honest, I do like pasta the night before. It's kind of a tradition. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it does me any good, but I do like pasta.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of a pasta party, haven't you? It's got to be done.
Well, the thing is, I love carbonara, so that'll be the next one.
And then Leslie said that she's been following you for a while as she's involved with a charity called Knitted Knockers UK, which make prostheses to help ladies after they've had mastectomies. That's brilliant. Yes.
They are superb. If anybody's watching that, don't know who they are, look for Knitted Knockers. These ladies are angels, absolute angels. They, if somebody hasn't, doesn't want to wear a sweaty prosthetic, sort of like, boob, they do knitted boobs to fit in the bras and things. They are absolutely amazing. They're brilliant ladies.
Oh, fantastic. I must admit, I've never heard of them. So I've learned something. That's fantastic. No, thank you for chipping that in, Leslie.
Well, yeah. One of the girls who's running down there is running for them, and we've got to find each other to get a selfie because, like I said, they're total inspirations to me. Brilliant ladies. They do so much work off their own backs to help women with breast cancer.
Yeah, my mother's had a single mastectomy, so I'll definitely look them up because, you might be able to help mum.
Yes, so they are brilliant.
No, thank you, Leslie. And whilst you were off, Colin, I saw Gary in the comments and I asked him who he is. He says he's a new subscriber. He heard me on Marathon Talk and here he is. Gary, thanks very much, mate. I'm glad that Marathon Talk going on there was fab for me. I really enjoyed doing that. But I was actually at Eden Project Park Run last week and a guy approached and he'd heard me on there as well. So fantastic how getting involved in these kind of things, networks everybody. I love it. I love the social side to running. So yeah, Gary, thank you for subscribing, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching this live stream. And Leslie's added that you're an inspiration to us all, Colin. So thank you, Leslie.
See, that chokes me up when people say stuff like that. It really does. It's. Do you know what it is? When I first started doing this, it was never sort of like oh yeah, look at me, look at I want praise for what I'm doing. But honestly, when you hear some of the stories that women go through, me being in pain for a little bit on a London marathon is nothing. Absolutely nothing. It hurts. It hurts like hell when I'm doing it. But when you see these women go through what they do, and men going through what they do, and they say to me, I'm an inspiration, that's a choker for me. That really is. That makes me fill up. Really does.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so on episode 2 of this series, I spoke with Denise Larrard, who was the BBC Sports Personality of the Year Unsung Hero last year. And she
Yeah,
said, people call her inspirational. She doesn't really see it. She says she can see it in others when they're doing something inspirational, but she doesn't think that, what she does is inspirational. And I think most people who fundraise have that same kind of mindset, because
yeah,
you are just doing what you know is right to do.
yeah.
And
Do you know what it is? I couldn't have put that better myself. That is exactly the thing. You're doing what you know is right.
yeah, and then and people do come up and say things like that, and you just think, well, I didn't realize, but yeah, okay, if that's what people think, then you accept it and kind of take it on board, and then you kind of just think, wow, that's really impactful and emotional, and like
Yeah,
you didn't ever expect it. I remember when I first raised money and somebody said something like that, just came out of the blue. Really, it kind of gets you, doesn't it? So
yeah, totally. Have I got a quick second to do a story here?
of course.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, I felt like packing it all in. And you get to them days where you just think, look, I've done my bit and all that sort of thing. And I'd had a pretty bad time of it. I had a few trolls online, things like that. And you just thought, I don't need to do this. But then I got an email off a woman I didn't know, and she continued to tell me why I'm important to her. And it was one of the strangest things I've ever had in my life. It was very emotional. She told me she just had a daughter. She was 6 months old, and she has the BRCA2 gene. What I'm doing, she says, will save her daughter's life in the future. And when somebody tells you that you're going to save a daughter's life because you're running a dress and doing a marathon and raising a few pounds, it hits home at what you're actually doing. You are touching people's lives that you don't even know. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you've done the same thing with your fundraising. You're impacting on people's lives. You will never ever meet these people, and that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry to hear that you had some online trolls. It's
It
terrible
happens.
fact of life that they are out there, but sometimes the people that are out there doing the trolling as well, they may be mentally vulnerable or something
Yeah,
themselves.
absolutely.
So I try not to take it to heart if anything like that happens, and hope that that person's okay. Really.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of my friends who was a radio presenter, Tom Campbell, told me once, and he has the greatest way of dealing with trolls. He is nice as pie to them. He smothers them in kindness. And he says, listen, I'm really sorry you're having a bad day. I hope it improves for you in the next day or so. And do you know what? It stops them instantly. It's an amazing way to do it. Just be really nice to them. They hate it. It's just
Well, that's certainly one of the better tactics of dealing with them. I've seen some less thought out tactics, I think, but no. Well, that's that. I mean, I'm glad that the Wi-Fi didn't cut out there on that story, because that was a really powerful story, and I'm really glad that woman sent that email, and it's just another example of how she's impacted your life,
that's
and
it.
the goodness goes round, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. I mean, I've got to be honest. I get messages. I get a lot of messages. I've got to be honest. And sometimes you can't reply to every single one. I try to, but the messages you get are so wonderful at times. You sit there thinking, I'm just a bloke who sticks a dress on and runs and raises some money. Yet these people have took their time out of their day to message me to say, listen, thank you so much for what you're doing. And I think that means more to me than out. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And anybody out there who's watching this live, or perhaps watches it back afterwards, wants to send you such a message, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Just honestly, just if they really want to, I mean, I'm not. It's just if they want to get in contact with me, get through Twitter. I'm on Twitter literally 24/7. I'm never off that thing. I think it's the greatest invention ever.
It is cool. And so you haven't tweeted in the last half an hour. People are going to be wondering if you're okay, probably, aren't they?
Well, I have actually, because I got my mobile phone right here. As soon as you went offline, I was right, click, get on there.
That's why it took you so long to come back.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, why is this not working? Oh, I'll do a quick tweet.
No, well, fantastic, Colin. Thank you so much for coming on the channel tonight and having a chat. And you know, I absolutely love hearing these stories myself, which is partly why I do this. But I also try and bring people to YouTube that aren't necessarily on YouTube and get the stories out to my subscribers that I've picked up from elsewhere in my running. So you know, I really appreciate it. I hope that everyone viewing's enjoyed this story. And if you want to hear next week's interview, what I'd ask you to do is to subscribe to this channel, but then next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon, and you need to click that one if you want to get a notification when I go live, because of course live just happens when it happens, and you'll be notified. So make sure you click that little bell icon. And so before we sign off then, Colin, have you got any sort of final thoughts?
Yeah, I hope it's not as sunny as I hope. I've been told it is in the London Marathon. What's this 21 degrees thing?
I know. You're going to bake, aren't you? It's going to make it even harder. So people should donate even more.
Yes, donate loads more. Listen, thank you so much for having me on tonight.
No problem at all, mate. And as always, if you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And as I said, subscribe for more running related content. Thank you so much for watching this live stream, and I'll see you on the next one.